Hello, hello, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. Last time we set up a basic set of automation for mystical agriculture here in the Dark Realm, and since then a lot of these backlogs have filled up a good ways, but a number of them have not. Some of them, like notably Nature Essence, have yet to fill up on a lot of their backlogs. This is very important for things such as lily pads, because we use these in Aqua Salis, and I recently increased the backlog on this, so we're going through a lot of this. Bitumen I recently had to just set up an excavator for again, so as much as I would have liked for this to be our solution, I don't think it will be. Although I imagine the excavator will carry us until Agricraft, at least I hope. We set up passive production for TerraSteel and trades with the Alpine portal, as well as the mana pool recipes using an alchemy catalyst for alliums and name tags. We did all of that in the production to make lavender quartz, and thus elven, sunny, red, and blaze quartz. And we made our first set of magical tablets, of which we will need many more today. By the way, and I assume you can tell at this point, I'm trying a few different things with my audio setup here, so let me know if you like this better, or if there's anything I should change about this. Regarding today though, I have a bit more of a focused set of goals for us. I would like to start by putting out all the fires that have come as a result of creating magical tablets, or rather, the attempt to make magical tablets. After that, I would like to fight the Gaia Guardian, upgrade our tools to Cellar tier, upgrade our blood magic to tier 6, and then finally start Thaumcraft with some Salis Mundus. Now what do I mean by putting out fires? Well, as you can see, we have a few things that we're missing in terms of making more Purified Tablets. For example, if we want to make the rest of our Purified Tablets, we need 150 damage reagents. That's ridiculous. But more importantly, we're completely missing things such as Salix soil and, assumedly, the production of magmatic soil, aqueous soil as well. These are all made from elemental soils, which are made in a Feycrafter. Additionally, if we want to actually stop making these Purified Tablets by hand, we need a way to differentiate between these two types of clean runic slates. So I'm thinking we'll set up an inscriber recipe just to change the name, because I don't really want to put these on passive. These are very, very expensive, and not something I really feel like dumping a ton of resources into at the moment. Thankfully, I had some foresight and put out a few of these fires beforehand. For example, our buffers on tier 1 essences are all up to a full drawer. Tier 2 is all up to 16 stacks, with the exception of Strength and Catalyst, which is up to the full drawer. Our Tier 3 essences are all up to 8 stacks. I imagine these will be gone very quickly. And we haven't changed to Tier 4 because I don't believe we need a ton of these at the moment. So to begin with, we need to automate the Feycrafter. More specifically, we need to automate petals, terramoss, and then the Feycrafter. Terramoss we get from scraping mossy stuff with a knife, which means we can use a couple mechanical users instead. So to set up passive moss, we're going to use these two mechanical users, this scanner and this auto breaker here. This mechanical user will be fed stone knives by a sequential fabricator right below it, which will activate a piece of moss stone that is placed by this mechanical user that is being given moss stone by that interface down there. This scanner will read whenever moss stone becomes cobblestone because it reads only cobblestone, and will trigger this breaker here to break the cobblestone to make way for new moss stone. We'll have all the moss we collect go into a drawer right here, and we'll have the whole system controlled via level emitter. So whenever we have below 8 stacks of terramoss, this will light up, which will enable this conduit here for everything to flow up into the system up here. We'll have a ranged collector here, piping back all of the terramoss that we get, which should send it to this drawer here, because this is the main spot that we have terramoss buffered. Or stored, I guess. And finally, any cobblestone that comes into the auto breaker, we have exporting on red channel into this trash can here. So if we take some moss out of our system, I batch crafted a lot of this a while ago, we should see that this turns on, which places this block. Maybe it's use item? It was use item, okay. And we can see now it works. This should finish the stack it's working on, and then it should stop. And it does. So this is all done, save for one small thing, that being a way to make moss stone, which we'll have right here with this fluid transposer. Upgraded, of course. Plunk. And now we have passive moss. So next we need to do petals. So what we have here that seems to be working, at least at the moment, we have a user with a pestle inside, on redstone on only, and a user at the bottom here that is being fed flowers to put into the mortar here. Down here we have a redstone face hooked up to that mortar that is reading whenever there are petals in the system and providing this user a redstone signal whenever there are. This prevents the mortar from being put into the pestle. And then right here we'll have a ranged collector and putting all the petals back into the system. I would put a drawer here, but we are actually out of channels here. So I'm going to see if I can't make a channel real quick, and then we'll see if we can put a drawer down. There we go. Next up, we actually want to make one of these runic crafters. This is like a Feycrafter, but automated. So we need another Feycrafter, which is easy enough, some runic dust, which also seems easy enough, and modularium, which we have not made before. This stuff takes Mirian, Ender alloys, and smoky quartz, of which we actually have not made Mirian yet either. This is made in an empower using our Botania metals plus some cobalt and glass. so it's not too bad. We only need the 2 right now, so we're only going to have to make really just the 1 batch for now, but eventually we'll put this on passive like everything else. But for right now, we'll just cheat a little bit. Well, not cheat, just, you know, be lazy. Oh, apparently we don't get the quest for this because we haven't done ruined obsidian, which is not required for this. I don't know why it makes me need ruined obsidian. I guess we'll do that real quick, though. Much better. So I'll be honest, I don't really know what to do to automate this. I guess I should probably check the guidebook. So it seems like it wants an inventory below and an inventory somewhere around it to put stuff. So hopefully it can read drawers as an inventory. So I think we can just use some limited item filters, and I imagine it will stop crafting if the drawer is full. Again, assuming that it even understands the drawer is a valid location to put all this stuff, which it simply will be because I asked nicely, please. So it says if we do the knife thing, it should do something. No, oh wait, no, we need to set the recipe first. So if we set the recipe and then do the knife thing, well that's fine, we can just have the range collector pick it up. Well, I mean, is that fine actually? Because we're out of channels to level emit with this. So using this mini chest as a buffer, we can actually take from here and put into here. And we just have a user with a knife in the back there. That knife technically isn't automated, but I might just like stick an unbreaking one in there at some point and call it a day. I don't imagine we're going to need like 3,000 crafts of this stuff. And if we do, well, I mean, you got me, I guess. If we end up needing 12,000 elemental soil, we need 12,000 elemental soil. What can you say? Anyway. As it stands, all 3 of these are not particularly hard to automate. I just sort of don't feel like doing them right now because I'm kind of amped, I'll be honest. So I'm just not going to do that right now. I'm sure one day we'll need to passive dirty reagents, because I imagine these earthen cores are used all the time at some point, or if nothing else the runes of earth are. But you know me, I love kicking the can down the road. So we'll call this, well, we'll just put next there actually. We'll say we lost that. I'll admit it, I'm lazy. I'm too lazy for this. I want to fight a Gaia Guardian, whatever that is. Well, this is a very expensive craft. I wonder how long this is going to take. 58 clean runic plate seems like it's going to take a brief eternity. And also 168 dirty reagents, 150 neutrals. Yeesh. Oh well, no time like the present. That is almost certainly our biggest craft to date, and it's only going to get bigger. Alright, here we go. 28 magical tablets going in. And murdering this poor Tartaric gem while we're at it. We actually have to swap forges. Alright, the last 7 going in. 32 magical tablets in our hands. That's a lot. That is a lot to think about. That's a lot to hold in one hand. We're going to start with the Gaia pylons. So the Gaia pylon doesn't look too bad. It's half our magical tablets, 8 of these blocks of dragonstone in total because we need 4 of these. Runes of Envy we make on autocraft. Natura pylons we've also made before. These are what's in front of the Alfheim portal. The only issue is we're actually short a little bit of mana steel, but while I craft the rest of this stuff, it should fill up our buffers. So in the time it took to craft those Gaia pylons, I noticed 2 disastrous things about the base. For one, mana diamonds weren't working at all, and for that matter, this entire mana stack wasn't working at all, because someone, surely not me, forgot to have the interface down there actually exporting. So these have just been idle, basically, because the conduits haven't been doing anything. I don't know how I had enough mana steel to do everything I just did. And then you'll notice our hyper diamond drawer is full. Shouldn't be full. This level emitter here goes to a redstone conduit, but there just wasn't one there before. Like, it was just the single conduit here, and it's like, well, how is this gonna see that? Just the aura of it or something? Why was it here? Anyway, blunders aside. Ooh, 6 purified tablets. That is a very nice reward, thank you. Alright, so next we need to fight the Guardian of Gaia. We can read about this in the Alphamancy section. I will do so shortly. We set it up with a beacon, some Gaia pylons, and get ready for a fight. I also need to double check if the music's copyrighted. So I've gone and set up an area to fight the Gaia Guardian at. I've gotten a little bit kitted out for it. Our armor only actually had 2 pieces of protection on it, so I added magic protection to the other 2. I imagine that will come up a lot here. Most of this is made out of concrete to give us a minor speed boost during the fight, which should help a little bit. And music does need to be off because it is copyrighted, unfortunately. Other than that, I think we should just be able to give it a shot. Oh right, we need to activate it. Now? Oh? Oh no. Oh no! Oh no! Come on! Oh, the chiseled blocks? Are you serious? Oh, how disappointing. Oh my goodness. I mean, I suppose we can just pull it one this way. That's fine. No, because then those are off-center. And all of it's off-center. Oh, but actually it's cutting into the actual wall, too. Yeah, no, we do need to pull it the full way over. That's upsetting. Alright, let's try here. Oh, no. Come on. Oh, no. Oh, I suppose I'll be back in a moment, then. Alright, third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. No! Oh. Alright, third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Yes! I thought I said turn the music off. How about that one? That's that one, okay. Well, you're very, static. That's me! I don't seem particularly, good at the whole fighting thing, though. Neither am I. Where's my magic missile? Did you grab me? Oh my gosh. That deals a lot of damage, though. Oh, wow, this is really good here. That is really good against the groups of mobs here. Oh my gosh, the whole group in one smack. Incredible stuff. Oh, that's a little bit more threatening of a mob. Well, that was a little underwhelming. Oh, we did get an orange heart, though. So we can swap the Terrasteel for one of these Gaia ingots, which uses 4 spirits in a Terrasteel. I think this gets us a lot more Gaia spirits when we kill him. If nothing else, it gives us this cool dice here. So let's do that, I guess. I gotta say, it's certainly pricey, so hopefully it's worth it. So we take this and we run it back. Looks like with a slight amount more health this time. Whoa, that was a much scarier pixie. Those guys are certainly worth dealing with immediately. There's so many particles, you're lagging my game out. That's a unique strategy. Oh, wither skeleton. That's something of note. Are you done yet? Ooh, lots of things to look at here. Let's see, we had 12 Gaia spirits, so we got 32 for the cost of 4. We got some black lotuses, the relic shader grab bag. These are usually pretty uncommon. Dark fire. Man, I wish the immersive engineering stuff was better. These shaders are really cool. So I believe it said we used the dice of fate in something. Yeah, the runic matrix. We might just fight this guy a few more times. This guy, a few more times. Ah, you get it. It might be worth it. The quest did say some of these relics are really good. Yeah, I think it's these 6 items here. I don't know what any of these do immediately. I think one of these gives you like 10 extra hearts or something like that, which is not particularly what I'm looking for. And the quest book doesn't say much about them, at least not until you get them. We also got this Will of Derek, which can upgrade a Terrasteel helmet if we care about that. I don't think I particularly do at the moment. Although, that does give us a few mystical tablets. If we pay 1 more, we could just go again. And I think I probably will. I want to gamble. Oh, I really hope I was recording that. I threw it on the ground and it gave me an Eye of the Flugel. Oh, what was that? Oh, it's like... book? Let's see. Shift right-clicking binds a position. Holding right-click will recall to the position. Costs mana only between the same dimension. And assists the Flugel Tiara. Well, that's a little upsetting. I already have that, but better. Darn. That's still cool to have. Although we'll just chuck it in the system, probably forever. So next we can make these Stellar Alloy Ingots. These are Crystalline Alloy, Crystalline Brown Slime, and Gaia Spirit. We've done, 2 of these before, and we just did this one, so it's not too bad. We are certainly not putting that on passive, however. The main things we would need this for seem to be, first and foremost, new tools. Armor, once we get to Bewitchment. We can't upgrade these capacitors one more step, so maybe that's worth it for some of our more taxing automations. We also could make the atomic disassembler, but I don't really feel a need to do that. I feel like the stellar pick will be plenty. We can also use these to craft beacons without needing the radiant beacon, so that's probably pretty good. And that seems to be it. So let's slide these in here. Been waiting for this upgrade for a long time. New pick and new axe. Now let's kick over these enchantments too. New pick and new axe. So let's give these things a spin. We can instant mine Rhyolite. That's a pretty great start. How about black granite? No, not quite. How about with haste though? No, maybe with haste 2, but not with haste 1. How about Corp? Can instant mine Corp? How fast is Obsidian? Wow, that was like a second. That was crazy. Alright, these are pretty good. And our old fine pieces go up on the wall. So we can mark off the Gaia Guardian and our stellar upgrade. Alright, tier 6 blood magic. The last step to becoming a blood god is 4 crystal clusters. So not only is it the remaining 16 magical tablets we have, but it's one of these angelic silicon crystal blocks, which we can do pretty easily, and 16 of these demon blood shards. Ooh, that's kind of a problem for us actually. So it looks like we need to increase our mana powder buffer, use more of our elemental soils, increase our mana diamond buffer, magnetic gloves, a severe... We just, I think, need a pass of the windmill slices. Is that what these are all going into, right? We need some more souls of the dark realm, some more salt blocks, increase the buffer on glass bottles, mechanical components. A lot of this is just increasing buffers, so that's not too bad at least. Yeah, windmills. We should probably consider putting windmills just on passive. Well, that's done now. That should bother our treated wood supply a little bit less, or at the very least our crafting CPUs a little bit less. Well, while I'm waiting for all my windmills to backlog, let's read something ominous. I hear something whisper, with 3 letters in a row. Wonder what that is. Who just spoke in dubstep? What was that? Oh, it might just be one. Thoughts? I'm still all in on this is Stinky, the one true Stinky. Ooh, how could I forget? The perfect distraction task. Let's make some luniums. No quest for this one, but I just want this. So how does this work? Oh. You all must be what I'm after. Yes. I read I was supposed to kill mobs and they would give me dungeon loot. Ooh, like that. Ooh. Seems to drain at a pretty fast rate though. Is that it? Oh, that's a very good enchanted book. Yeah, it seems to eat quite a bit of mana when it does that. Yeah, the main thing we're in here for are these runes. And I suppose the occasional enchanted book doesn't hurt. So we'd probably want a different area for this, just so we don't take from this mana pool all the time. Now, it seems like the spawn radius is pretty sizable. Seems like about a 5-block radius it can spawn the mobs in, if that cave spider was the farthest distance. It seems looting doesn't really matter at all. So mobs just need to die by, presumably, a player's hand, but maybe just anything. So I think what I'm going to do with this is between episodes, I'll set up another mob farm with a mechanical user, this thing, and hopefully just have this with like a mending something or other or an item repair with it, so that we'll have automatic soul harvesting and also automatic dungeon loot. And hopefully by next time we'll have a bunch of runes to do cool stuff with. That's the plan at least. And we are still waiting on these windmills. While I'm sitting here doing fat nothing, I've also decided to probably at some point look into passiving these 8 cores here. These 8 are all used in the tier 1 and 2 Botania runes, and the tier 3 runes just use the previous runes. We don't actually have any other core requirements for them. So these seem like the 8 most important ones to do. I feel like doing all 16 might be a little bit too much. Like for example, these potency cores here. These aren't used particularly often, and I feel like putting these on like a passive of a stack or so seems not necessary. The same is true of something like dark cores, to a lesser extent magical cores, and reduction cores and the like. But even then, we're still going to use some of these things later. Like, we're going to need a lot of V resonators, obviously. But I feel like passive isn't necessary for these things, at least not yet. And while I'm doing all these, it might be worth going for defensive and offensive cores, just for our cracked runic plates. If we can get these fully on passive, that would be kind of crazy. Yeah, like, if we could passive all the way up until clean runic plates, that would be really, really big for us, actually. Because that would make Purified Tablets become super cheap. So this would be another 10 reagents to fully passive, which is fine in terms of cost, I think. Like, we make all these things passively. We make all these things passively. We make all of this passively. We don't have windmills or wind chimes, I don't think. We make all this passively. We make all this passively. We make all this almost passively, besides the pressurized air tank. We could make this all passively. We make this all passively. And then salt, I don't know what I would do for that. I'd probably have to look into that rabbit hole. But for the most part, most of these seem pretty easy to do. It's just a matter of setting up the Hellfire Forges. So I guess I'll kill time by making 10 Hellfire Forges. Oh my gosh, we can finally do it. 37,000 bytes used for this craft. Oh, no, we're having issues again. Alright, now hit the craft. Okay, this is gonna take a little while. Something tells me 16 runes of wrath is gonna be a brief eternity. Alright, last shard going in. Oh, I guess I picked up the living rock at some point. There we go. Boom! Heck of a craft to finish. Right, then we need 36 of these, which is fine, we should have that. For 4 angelic silicon compound cluster blocks, or whatever they're called, and 4 crystal clusters. Obtain the final blood magic orb, the tier 6 blood. Oh. What is this? An urge to destroy. You know, don't even worry about it. I'm different. So for this, we need an evil blood orb. Ah, of course. So we need an empty orb with some bloody dust and empty cores and Gaia spirits. That's pretty easy. Watch this. This whole tank should just disappear. Whoop! Oh, it actually only took most of it. Alright, so we need 240,000 LP and a tier 6 altar. We can do that. So it looks like we need another 3 blocks on top, so that'll go through right there, which is a little unfortunate, but that's alright. And yes, we now have tier 6. So we should be able to just slot this in here, and hopefully it doesn't drain too fast. No, certainly not. If anything, it's draining too slow. Here we are. Transcendence. Ow. And finally, the tablet awakens. That is a lot of runes. So we need 2 mystical tablets, 2 rainbow slates, and a transcendent blood orb. These rainbow slates are 120,000 LP in a blood altar. My goodness. And it looks like it takes a bit faster than the altar can fill in with our runes of displacement, so we probably can't automate those rainbow slates. But that might be okay. I don't think we really need them on automated. I don't particularly know how many of these rainbow slates we're going to need, but I don't think it's, you know, that many. At least not right now. I know we need these things later, especially in Galacticraft, but by that point we'll have a much more robust everything set up, really. And with the power of 2 rainbow slates, 2 mystical tablets, and the transcendence of a blood god, we create 1 singular rainbow tablet. And it awakens! And so we can begin Thaumcraft. Salis Mundus seems simple. We get the first one from pulverizing a rainbow tablet, or rather our singular rainbow tablet, and then we can duplicate it with lavender quartz, pixie dust, methane, and crystallized mana shards. We already make 3 of these 4 things, and the last one is just another crystallizer step. We can get this from mana diamonds or blocks of mana steel. Either really works, but we'll probably just use the mana diamonds because they're cheaper. But we will certainly be coming back to this. I want to do this properly because if it took that long to make us a rainbow tablet, I imagine we're going to need more rainbow tablets in the future, and I don't want to wait that long again. So I'm going to take a quick break, at least quick for you, and come back and we'll work on those cores that I talked about earlier. Okay, so it's been quite a bit since the last cut. I've made an elevator here to take us here. I set up all 16 of these alchemy forges, or hellfire forges. All these interfaces are filtered, all these filters are filtered. These are all ready to go. You know, the problem is we're missing some stuff. Things like magmatic and aqueous soil, we now make over here with our other fluid stuff. This is another simple dropper with a level emitter at the back. We have water here for aqueous soil, lava here for magmatic soil, fire water here for demon metal. We hadn't had this before, but now we do. And an extra slot because we'll probably need this in the future for something or other. So in total, all we need left is Salic soil, salt, pressurized air tanks, cookie jars, speed upgrades, wind chimes, and windmills. I don't plan on making the cores passively because they're pretty fast to just make in crafting steps. So we'll just make all the reagents and then we'll worry about the cores later. We can do these on autocraft until we need like passive purified tablets for something, which I don't imagine we will. Let's start with some of the easy stuff. There's cookie jars. Next we'll do wind chimes. This is all stuff we have. And here's wind chimes. Next we'll do windmills. We make stone burnt already and GP powder, of course. These windmill blades we technically make already, but we don't actually extract them, so we'll make these again. We probably should have had blades as their own separate thing, but oh well. The redstone stars, however, are a little bit trickier. For these we need all stuff we make. We actually already do make red coal, but ender shards are different. We need to have a glass cutter with an ender pearl, and this is a tool, so we need to craft more of these as well. So we need glass cutters, ender shards, and then we can have a crafter with both the steps for windmill blades, redstone stars, and then windmills at the end. Now we have passive glass cutters, ender shards, and the other type of windmill, wind space mill. Next we'll do speed upgrades. This is pretty simple. We make all this stuff except osmium dust, and this is just a pulverizer recipe. There's speed upgrades, so that's all the easy ones. The next we need to do either pressurized air tanks, salt blocks, or Salic soil. I suppose we'll do salt blocks. This is relatively easy. we need to first decondentrate some brine into gaseous brine, and then we can crystallize it into salt and just put that in the compacting drawer. So we set up salt here. We had these machines left over from when we tried to make salt over there, and it didn't work out even a little bit for us. That said, this is a little bit slow, so we're going to chuck in some energy and speed upgrades to both of these. This feels like a much more reasonable pace. So now we have salt. So next up we have, let's do Salix soil. So this we need to drop in world above 90, let it chill for a bit, and then pick it up. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to have what I lovingly titled the output ender chest. We have the input one on red, so we're going to have the output one on purple now, which means we need 2 more. And we actually do have a channel down here, so we'll do it down here because I couldn't really find a better space to do this. We'll just set an interface here or so, and an ender chest here. So what we'll do here is we'll just request things that we want to put somewhere else through this ender chest in this interface here. So for example, elemental soil. And we'll use limited item filters here, just so this chest doesn't overflow with anything. So we'll actually set up Salix soil in here. This is one of the little slices between our various floors of the tower here, but we built on a mountain, so we're actually high enough up so that it's okay. So we've got a pretty simple setup here. We have this ender chest pulling into this precision dropper, limited item filter for 1 elemental soil, so we're not dumping the whole system. We have a vacuum chest here, filtered for only Salix soil, goes into the storage system. We don't have a drawer for this right now, but that's probably fine. And we moved this input chest over here, just so we can use this level emitter so we can piggyback off this interface to save a channel, because now we're out of channels, because this is number 32 now instead of the interface being 32. This activates when we're below 512, and this conduit is only active with a redstone signal. So when you have more than 500 Salix soil, then we stop pushing. So that's Salix soil done. And so finally we need pressurized air tanks. This is a very simple recipe, besides the fact that we need iron mechanical components. This is made in an engineer's workbench, which you cannot automate, but the automated engineer's workbench can be automated, would you believe it? Yeah, so we're going to rip out this crusher here, and really this whole setup. It served us well, but we don't really need it anymore. And then we'll replace it with this automated workbench here, which should produce mechanical components for us. So let's rip all this stuff out. So I think I set this up right. How about this one? No. Do I hit this one? Or this one? This one? This one? This one? That one? This one? This one? This one? Aw, man. Oh, no, I was right. It was just, I needed to hit the treated wood plank over here, as, you know, one would expect, of course. So we can toss the blueprint in here, give this power through the top, and I guess we need to run ME connections. We don't really do that a whole lot over here. So we can hook up some conduit facades into here. Limited item filters 16 and 8. And then this should do something eventually, I think. Maybe it needs an inventory here. How's about this one? Maybe I should just read the book more. Ah, no, I have to hit a button basically to clarify that that goes there. Alright, okay, fair enough. We'll hit this with a downgrade, of course, and a storage bus. So now we should have iron mechanical components passive, and it looks like we do. Then we need a compactor for lead plates, stored here, and a sequential fabricator for our air tanks, stored here. And we'll toss an upgrade in here just because these don't stack otherwise. And with that, our list is ticked off. All done. So if we head back here, and I told you I had these all set up, I wasn't kidding. We have Tartaric gems even set to the right colors in here. So we should be able to just turn these on, I think. And it's already happening. Great. We can filter our first drawer. And also find our first issue. We're not making coarse dirt. There we go. And now we're making dirty reagent. So we can set our lava reagent filters, our water reagent filters, our air reagent filters, our growth reagent, our frost reagent, our wizard's reagent, our haste reagent, our strength reagent, our damage reagent, our tempest reagent, and our neutral reagent. I'm not going to turn these tier 4 ones on yet because I don't believe we need a ton of these tier 4 cores at the moment. But when we do, all we have to do is automate, what is this, mob grindium, void, redstone transmission coils, sentient ender, and ender casings, not too much. So when we need to passive this, it will be very easy for us to do so. Until then, though, it looks like most of our reagents are already buffered to a stack. I think I actually want to bring these probably to 4 stacks, though. Nothing around here seems particularly bank-breaking, at least in terms of making a bunch of these passively, like 4 stacks or so. So let's just set these all to 4 stacks. So now if we were to request, say, 8 more Purified Tablets? Oh, why are we missing those? I forgot a storage bus. Yeah, it helps if you plug your stuff in, doesn't it? So now what if I request these tablets? Imbued slates. Okay, that's fine. I actually have some more of those being batched up right now. So now what if we request 8 tablets? Where did those 2 go? I just put them in. Something's wrong here. Something's very wrong here. Something's very wrong here. Hold on. Yeah, that was a problem. I was inputting into this interface rather than this drawer controller here. And so I was making a ton of these imbued underscore slates for no reason. And I bet a ton of these... Yeah, we've got a ton of these blood shards. Total waste. That does explain why we had so many lava underscore buckets, though. I wanted to make some more crystal clusters anyway, so let's make 8 demon blood shards instead. Oh, dang it. Well, for the most part we have all of this. We're just a little short on air reagent for some reason. Ah, someone forgot to set the filter. Alright, now can we do this? Yes. Let's see how fast this goes. Already on runes. Really good. Yeah, very fast. Much faster. Well, if we weren't making demon blood shards, we could make these 8 purified tablets pretty easily. This is probably a lot faster than the demon blood shards too. Oh, our shards are done. I was getting some more electrotine. Yeah, I wanted to be able to make another 18 of these, make another 2 of these, or another 2 of these, because these altars are wall sharing, which means this one is now tier 6 too. So we have access to all of these rune slots, of which we're not using, let alone the 5s nor the 6s. We're also not using the 6th tier yet. I will do something about that at some point, I'm sure. Yeah, now we've got 2 big tier 6 altars. We might get a 3rd at some point, but for right now, this is what we've got. Anyhow, that's tier 6 blood magic a different way. And I think we've properly put out our fires this time. So now I feel comfortable earning my right to become a thaumaturge. Gotcha. It's normally kind of hard to catch that. Hello, quest? Oh, you want me to make 2. Okay, that's fair. So for passive Salis Mundus, we have just about everything here besides crystallized mana, which we can get from smelting either mana diamonds or blocks of mana steel in a crystallizer. We're going to do blocks of mana steel just because this will be a lot faster. I believe I said we're going to do mana diamonds earlier because it's cheaper. The thing that would cost anything is the mana, which, I mean, you know, they're equal, right? Actually, no, they're not. Or, no, actually, hold on. Okay, no, never mind. They are equal. These are the exact same amount of mana, and that's what really matters. Albeit, I suppose mana diamonds input is cheaper than mithril. Nah, I've convinced myself. We're sticking with mana diamonds. They are cheaper. That said, we are still using a limited item filter for this one because these are still kind of expensive. They're not expensive, but they're not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. So now, we have passive crystallized mana shards. I could put this in a compacting drawer, but that feels like a lot of mana diamonds to spend. Even storing 1 stack of this would still be a lot of these shards. It'd be like a 16th of this, which is still, you know, over 1,000. And I don't really want to spend that kind of mana yet. Yet, at least. So this is fine. I'll find somewhere proper to put the crafting step for this later, but for now we'll just use the system. Although it seems like that's all the Salis Mundus we're going to get for right now. Dust to dust. Alright, so I waited a bit longer and we got 15 to our name. So to begin with, we make ourselves a Thaumcraft. So we need to right-click a bookshelf, simple as. And boy oh boy, does this never get old. That's just so fun, right? Ooh. A trophy for my troubles. Oh, gladly. I'll set this one here because I like it. I might move that later. Or maybe we can just leave our most recent trophy there. Anyway. Oh, my old friend, it's been so long since I've opened you. So we have a couple options to start now. We can make our arcane workbench from an ender crafter. Ooh, that's a little expensive. Or our crucible, which is from a evilcraft purifier. I have never done that before. And this gives a lot of information about the crucible. I don't need that because I'm an expert, but you know, you can pause and read if you'd like. And the same is true of the arcane workbench there's a lot less text here, but the same idea applies. So the quest for the arcane workbench does give us 5 ender ingots back, so we're just going to take this one for right now. Let's see, so what's this purifier take? That's not too bad. Here we go. That's not what I wanted to do. Hey, do thing. What? Does it have to have something in it so it doesn't do that? What the heck? Make me crucible. Oh, do I not have this yet? Yeah, that explains it. Oh, I love that writing sound. Never it's gonna get old. Oh, actually, for the crucible, I need to make a thermometer first. How expensive can this be? A little bit. 8 holy cores isn't nothing. Here we are. So in order to continue our research, we need to make an observation. So how Thaumcraft research works is there's 2 types of knowledge. There's observations, which is what you get from scanning things with the thermometer, and theories, which is what you get by using the research table that we have yet to unlock. So the A-class thing to do with the thermometer, the moment you get it, is just start shift right-clicking everything. The more things you click, the better, and you can even click inventories and it'll scan the things inside. So get ready for some really loud noises. So as you can see, our observations are already pretty hefty, and if we need more, it's not too hard to get more. We'll just find some more passive stuff and spam right-click on that. But now we can complete first steps. and unlock Arcane Stone Brick, which, as much as I love this building block, is not really worth it in this pack, because this stuff is expensive. 3 Arcane Stone requires a blank rune? No thank you. Anyway, now we can discover alchemy. So I don't want to get too far into Thaumcraft this episode, because I think I'm already running a little behind. I can tell you right now I'm running behind uploading this. So we'll just stop with this quest right here for no particular reason. So we need to inscribe, describe, and you need to subscribe. Oh, thank you, quest, I appreciate that. Well, as the quest book says, and this one's on you, not me, because, every time I say we, it's we, right? So we need to subscribe, leave a like, comment, share. You don't have to ring the bell if you don't want to. Member doesn't matter. I'm not making you click no sponsor link. You're not playing Raid Shadow Legends on my behalf. You can watch the next video in the end card, that's good. You can go to my link tree and read a novella if you want. You could do that instead of join a membership or whatever. Anyway, scribing tools. So the Mystical Feather is pretty easy. The Alpha Glass Flask is pretty easy. Mana Weave Cloth, we've already made Kraken Skin. And a Rune of Pride, which we can autocraft. So these go here, and I take this. So we can fill it up with ink, or I read in the Lexica Botanica that we have a little bit of Thaumcraft integration here. So we can toss scribing tools into a mana pool, and it will fill it up with mana instead of ink. So we'll do that instead, because I hate having to craft with this thing. And I think one of these augments is dispersive, so it should fill this up. At least I hope. It doesn't seem to be doing it, though. Yeah, it seems like we do have to manually throw it in, which is kind of a bummer. But it fills up pretty fast. Anyway, we can finally tick off Salis Mundus, and thus our docket is complete. And I think that is a great place to call the episode. I am very happy with what happened today. We shored up a lot of the issues plaguing our base and the various things that we needed before we got into the next few chapters. We fought the Gaia Guardian a few times, actually. I ran a few more dice and I got some okay stuff. One of my favorites is that key thing that shoots exploding swords. That's awesome. I'll show you that next time if we fight some stuff. We finished up Blood Magic, getting our Tier 6 Blood Orb and Altar, and truly transcending. And we took our first little steps into Thaumcraft. I expect to dive very deep into this next time. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching. As the quest book told you to do, make sure to leave that like and subscribe if, you want to follow the quest book. You need to finish your divine journey, too. As always, the views and comments are very much appreciated, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye-bye.